You know that feeling you get when you go to the grocery store and think, hold on a second, didn't this used to cost less? Well, here's something you might not see on the price tag. The cost of getting that stuff to you is going up as well. And according to some new government numbers, it's going up quite a bit. The U.S. Bureau of Transportation Statistics just released its July 26 Transportation Producer Price Index. Now, don't let the government speak scare you away. The Producer Price Index, or PPI, is basically looking at what businesses are paying in the production and transportation chain rather than what you and I pay at the cash register. But here's the interesting part. Over the past year, air transportation is up 7.1%, truck transportation is up 10.9%, and water transportation is up a whopping 17.2%. For comparison, prices for all services increased about 5.1%. Now that's according to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And here's a reality check. Before you start screaming, there goes inflation again, let's hold on a second and look a little deeper. A 10.9% increase in trucking does not necessarily mean the price of your groceries are about to increase on par at 10.9%. That's not how this typically works. But transportation is part of the price of almost everything we buy. Just think about it. The farmer grows the food and the truck moves it. Maybe a ship brought something from overseas as well. And another truck takes it to a distribution center. Then another truck takes it to your local store, and eventually you get to pay for the whole road trip. Not necessarily all of it, but definitely some of it. And businesses, well, they have three basic choices when their costs increase. They either eat it, find a way to become more efficient, or pass some of that cost along to you and me. Historically, businesses tend to use some combination of all three options. But here's a propaganda alert. Don't let anybody tell you this recent report proves prices are going up 10.9%. That's a misleading statement. But don't go to the other extreme and say nothing to see here, because that's also misleading. Because what the data are telling us is that transportation is becoming a significant cost pressure in the supply chain. In fact, transportation accounted for 12.7% of the overall increase in the Producer Price Index for services. And this is where I think there's a bigger lesson. Most of us tend to think of economics as numbers on a screen, but behind every number are real people. A parent in a grocery aisle, a small business owner deciding whether to raise prices, a farmer trying to get products to market, and a family trying to stretch a paycheck for another week. That's why Proverbs tells us to pursue wisdom and understanding, to question everything. Not because everything is a conspiracy, but because reality is usually more complicated than the headlines. And that's especially true with inflation. Sometimes the price increase isn't happening because somebody suddenly decided to charge you more. Sometimes it's happening because the entire chain underneath that product has gotten more expensive. So the next time you see the price of something increase, don't just ask, who raised the price? A better question is, what's happening underneath the price? Because if you understand the system, you have a better chance of understanding the whole story. And maybe even making better decisions with your own money. And that's today's reality check. I'm Dr. Hayes. This is Holy Sorta. Question everything, grow intentionally, because truth still rocks and light still leads. But sometimes faith ain't pretty, and apparently neither is the cost of stuff.